Okay. I would like you to start with. You said you've been doing this for the past 11 years. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, we want to know where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Yeah, I was born in Mumbai, and Mumbai is the financial capital of India. That is where you have all the banking and commerce establishments in India. And I grew up, my childhood was all there. I grew up in a typical middle class family, and my father worked for the Indian Navy, and my mother was a homemaker. And initially, we lived in a joint family system. Later on, we all became nuclear. And I completed my schooling and college education in Mumbai itself, which was around 20, 22 years. So, and then I moved to Bangalore after that. Bangalore is supposed to be the IT capital, information technology capital of India. And after that, once moving to Bangalore, I started off on my own because the working hours were getting very difficult for me to balance between work and home. So I started my own consulting company from there.
Wow. So you said you started immediately you finished from school, right?
No, I worked for I must have worked for about 3, 4 years in the corporate, got an experience in the corporate side of how things work within human resources, what are the challenges that are faced by them within the company, and outside when you're working as vendors, what are the challenges that you may encounter. All this understanding you will get only when you work in a corporate. So I work like that. And then I decided to go further and start up something on my own where I felt I'll have more freedom in terms of the number of hours I work, and to be taking care of my daughter as well. So that's how I started. And since then, the journey continued. I have been doing it for the last 11 years.
Wow.
So now, what it has become is after interacting with so many candidates and employers, there is a need to promote entrepreneurship among men and women. So not all can be employees. Mm, everybody has to have their own way of generating their own income and taking care of their family, their businesses. So we need to promote freelancing as well as entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I still want to get a little on, if you can remember very well, how did you got your first client? How did you really say, this is what I want to do?
Right. My first client happened this way. I was trying for a job in human resources within that company. Okay. And I went and met them and cleared all the discussions. But for some reason, the hiring didn't go through. Okay. The hiring didn't happen. And they said that we wanted support for recruitment. Okay. That's how my first client began, and till date they are my clients. I
Oh,
support them in talent acquisition, and my maximum billings have come from that client. I was trying for a job. I went for an interview in that place. For some reason, they didn't hire, but they required the services from me for recruitment, and that's how I got started.
that's really that's really beautiful. What do you think make them actually say, can you do this for us?
They didn't have a person at that point of time, and the way I spoke to them in terms of the knowledge that I have, then they felt that it will be good for us to get the candidate hired from us. Second thing, I was very patient. They would see many candidates before hiring one. They would shortlist and screen a lot of candidates. But I worked with them very closely, so over a period of time they became very comfortable with me, and more businesses started flowing from there.
So you can say it was because of the relationship you built with them that
Yes,
opened that door, right?
yes, yes. Very consistent. and you should not put your thoughts or put your opinion way past to them. You have to consistently listen to them initially, build the trust. After building the trust, if you tell them something, they listen to you. Else they won't.
Mm, that's beautiful. Wow, that's really, really beautiful. So, going forward, so what are the challenges? What are the things you've been picking up on the way that um, we can learn from?
Right. Now, once you start hustling or once you start building your business, what you will have in the initial phases is volume. Okay. You might be selling some product, you might be selling some service, but you might not have the volume, right? In the beginning. So for example, if you are a content creator or if you're a podcast creator, you are speaking to so many people, but not everybody agrees to speak to you, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so when you have the volumes, like when you're doing your own social media channel or when you're doing your own business, you need a huge volume, like from 50, 100, 150. The same people will not keep buying things from you for a long time. So you always need a new person who is going to come into your stream and who buys from you. The people who have already bought it from you may come back to you later, but you always need a new funnel of customers continuously flowing in, no matter what product you're doing or what you're selling. Suppose when you're hustling, you need a consistent income. Say you decide the number that you want to earn in a particular month, which takes care of your need, which takes care of your family, which takes care of your education. Then you need to have consistently paying customers to whatever product or service you're selling. Once you have that, you are in a better position to sell whatever you want. So today, what it has become, a social media presence is a must. It doesn't matter how many number of people are viewing it or how much subscriptions you have, but are you there is what matters over a period of time. So every day, if you're doing something, every day, if you're posting something, over a 365-day period, even if you have added 100 people, it's quite a number. So that has become a very important medium to sell. And your local community. How close are you within the local community?
Within the local
In our
community.
local community, wherever you're living, how close are you to people? Do they look up to you? Do they come to you for advice? Do they come to you for guidance? These are things that they matter a lot rather than just outrightly going and attempting to sell something to them. So you have to build the influence first. Building an influence is of prime importance.
Impressive. Wow. So now I want us to delve into what is happening today. You know, the world is currently changing. Things are in the next couple of few months. Many people will be laid off from where they are working. It's a fact. It's a given. So, for in fact, they've started here in Dubai. They've started laying off CFO, CIO. People have been laid off now. So, what do you think a CFO who has just been laid off? What should be the next thing he should be doing?
See, the next thing is he should take his financial position in consideration immediately. How he is living currently? Is he having to pay huge rent for the next 6 months or 10 months? Then he must look at options whether he is in a position to pay that much rent and stay where he is, or based on his finances, should he streamline and bring down his lifestyle if he wants to continue being where he or she is. That is one thing. Second thing is, what are the skills that he is having which can be helpful to many other companies in and around, where he can offer them 3 month CEO, 6 month CFO kind of a role, interim roles which can be played currently in consulting and expert capacities to move forward. And it is not only for the CFO, it It's for the CHRO and the CMO. All these people can, put out their skills, what all they have handled, and help themselves in whatever capacity, whether it is a small business or a big business, till the economy comes rolling. Or they decide to move from wherever they are or go back to their own country, depending upon what their circumstances are at this point of time.
So, as a woman doing business, what are the challenges you face? Do you face any challenge because you're a woman running this business?
Plenty.
Really?
Because see, yeah, plenty. It is not easy. Because there are some families. Mm, there are many families who feel that women should not work, or women should take care of the child. There are so many such ideologies in many Indian families which are still prevailing. Not only Indian, if you look at worldwide, there could be many such ideologies that prevail. If there were more women working, it could actually show up on our numbers, isn't it? On the country's numbers or the
Yeah.
GDP or what you call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more number of women paying taxes means more revenue for the government. So all those things are still a long way from where we are right now. Or see, how can women become entrepreneurs if we are having issues with the women coming into the workforce itself? If you have a 300-member company and if you have 280 men working and 20 women working in the company, so does it have any kind of balance? I mean, is there equality in the workforce in those places? Okay, in large companies, in very big companies, they have all this diversity, inclusion, getting more people in the workforce. These kind of initiatives happens in bigger companies. There you will see the 50-50 balance of men working and women working. So a lot of things like pay parity, equal pay parity, all these things are happening in its own way, but it will take some time for any social change to happen. It takes
Wow. Wow. So, something like this is still going on. Well, it's a given for something as simple as allowing a woman to work. Okay, now still thinking in the with respect to COVID-19 and the way it is going to change the workplace. What do you think about freelancing for this time?
yeah, I mean, there will be many companies which will shut down and many companies which will sustain. So the companies which sustain will require freelancing services at affordable prices. So that rescue hiring or what you call as that opportunity should not be missed by anybody who wants to be a consultant or would want to start a freelancing journey. This is a very good time. There are many people at the senior levels who want to start up on their own. So this is a good opportunity for them to get started by offering whatever services and skill sets that they have by helping other companies improve in whatever direction, whether it is sales, marketing, finance, human resources, any of them.
So, for your company, how, how has this pandemic, how has it affected you?
Luckily, it hasn't much, Kayode, because I did not have many people on fixed salaries. So I did not have much issues. Luckily, I did not have a very large enterprise where I'll have to take all these things into consideration. And in future also, when you're building your business now, you're going to be more careful about how you are planning your finances, how you are taking in people. uh, Sometimes it feels like a blessing in disguise, that your business didn't grow. Probably it could not have survived or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's like a blessing in disguise. Why certain things happen, why certain things don't happen that way.
So, you are saying not growing big has proven or shown to be a blessing in disguise right now?
I mean, you asked me a very personal question, so I'm putting my personal answer. It might be different in different people's cases, but for some businesses, it has worked out in their favor. Probably they were getting into something and they couldn't, or they were wanting to deploy more capital and more people, but they didn't. So it might have worked in their favor in that sense.
So, what do you have to say to somebody who just graduated now, who is just coming into the workforce, the labor force, who is looking for a job right now? And we all know we all know, yeah, statistically speaking, we are heading towards a recession in the next couple of 12 to 14 months before things will start getting back to normal. And for somebody who is broke, who is just about to get started in life, what do you say to that person now?
Don't You must have done some education and you must be having some expectation that I should work like this only, or I should work only in marketing, I should work in HR only. These kind of thought processes could be there. Don't have such thought processes. Take up any job that you get if you're getting. Okay. Interesting things you will get to learn within a company right now if they are hiring you. You will come to know how they are sustaining, how they are doing their business. See, the initial years of your career is just observing within a company how they are working, what they are doing. Suppose if you're parallelly hustling every evening, try to connect with more experienced people so that you can get them to share their experiences about how they are working. Today there is a lot more opportunity to do that than it was 10 years ago. Today you have podcasts, today you have social media, you have mobiles, we are seeing each other while you're staying far away.
Yeah.
So make use of this opportunity. Probably every week there are 52 weeks. You could speak to 52 experts. Out of that 52 experts, probably one or two people might offer you a job or an opportunity in future.
Impressive.
You take something from everybody. Yeah.
Impressive. Yeah.
So yeah, some may give you knowledge, some may give you kindness, whatever. Just take it and move forward.
Thank you so much. So again, still trying to understand the way the economy is now. How is the job market in India? How is it affected by this whole thing?
See, India has got plenty of medium and small businesses, apart from the big ones which are listed in the stock exchanges, etc. So there is on one side there is hiring also. On another side, we are also facing a lot of impact of recession of young companies, small companies which have started up, which has just grown up in the last 3 4 years. So those are companies which are not growing or which cannot take this particular position. So they're all giving up their offices and working from home right now at this point of time. So this recession trend is going to be faced everywhere because we have locked down every place for 21 days or probably more than 2 months. So we will face that kind of recession, but making use of this time to reskill, learning soft skill as well as hard skills. Soft skills, communication skills, presentation skills. These are all things which you could learn. Sales conversion skill. Once you learn these things, your potential to face the future will be much better than somebody who doesn't do anything during this.
So
Reskilling, learning new things.
so
Yes,
you say it's important to get and learn new skill right now for the new
yes,
economy
yes, yes.
and to adapt. So, and you also mentioned for people who are just been laid off, this may be the best time for them to start thinking and considering consulting and freelancing for smaller businesses.
Yes,
So, if you are in that position, how are you going to approach it? Are you going to call? Are you going to send mail? I want us to talk on practical step for somebody who just got fired last week Friday again.
right, right. See, if they do not have a digital marketing presence or a social marketing presence, they need to come there because people being at home are largely, viewing things on their mobile, listening to the mobile. So everything is homebound now. So they need to get up there and call all their friends also and add them into groups and links and start generating content there. Now, if you look at me, I started generating content on LinkedIn in the month of November. I was there in the site for a long time doing my work, but it started getting very interesting after November. So once you build your content regularly for about 8 months, you have a lot of people following you, right? If you generate good content with respect to whatever area of work you are in. So once you do that, after a point, you can always introduce something which could be of use and take it forward from there.
So, for anybody who has just been recently fired, the first and the next best thing is for you to start building personal brand and start creating content about on your expertise. Because I realize some people, they are so knowledgeable. It's a given. After working in a specific field for 10 years, for 20, you know the nook and crannies of these things. So, and you don't find most of them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. You don't find them there. So,
Correct.
what do you say to this kind of people right now?
They need to come and they need to adopt these newer ways. Otherwise, sustaining is going to become very difficult in future because the same people will not buy all the time. You
Yeah.
need a newer audience each time.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time. So, in wrapping up, what's do you have anything to say? Do you have something in your mind? Do you have if
Right. See, never give up. If we have to survive, you have to be out in the marketplace, every day and keep showing up in whatever way possible regularly, no matter what happens. See, these economic cycles and downturns are all going to keep happening or happens once in 10 years, but that doesn't stop businesses from running, right?
yeah,
We have to have our living, we have to have our food, shelter, clothing, kids' education. These are all always important.
yeah.
So we need to be there in the marketplace. Otherwise, it's very difficult to survive.
So, there is a game I like to play. I would like you to ask those who will be watching this, ask them a question, and they will be engaging you and mentioning you in the comment below. Ask them a question.
Where are you listening to me from, and how my talk has helped you? That is one question that I'm asking the listeners or the viewers.
Okay, so
Where are you viewing me from? Yeah.
and the question, two questions now. Where are you viewing us from? One, two, and what have you learned from this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, Kazim.
Thank you so much, man. Have a wonderful day today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
so
Bye.
much.